So Battlefield 2042, man, oh man, this game, just when you think it can't get even more worse, oh man, it gets even more worse. So how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. So Battlefield 2042 has been out officially for 1 month now. It came out on November 19th. And for those of you that unfortunately spent about $100 on the game who got to play the game early, it's been out a little bit longer for you guys. But in this video, I just wanted to go over the state of 2042 1 month later. As you guys probably know by now, it's had a pretty rough launch. It hasn't done very good with reviews. It's been just completely review bombed by the player base. People aren't happy with it. The state of the 2042 subreddit is just nothing but people trashing on the game. It's basically just a subreddit dedicated to hating a video game at this point. Even the overall Battlefield subreddit, the subreddit that covers all Battlefield games, 2042 isn't even that popular in that subreddit. Normally the Battlefield subreddit is pretty ass-kissy and they're a lot more open to everything, but there's even a lot of hate in that subreddit, which is surprising to me. You know, Battlefield 2042 has had a pretty bumpy ride, so I just wanted to talk about the state that it's currently in 1 month later. Now, there's been a number of different updates. There's been like 3 major updates that have come out. They've made some pretty good changes. At the game's launch, the weapon handling was abysmal. You couldn't hit targets that were standing still. Your weapons were inaccurate. They wouldn't hit targets. The recoil was atrocious. The hit registration was bad. So they've made a lot of those kind of changes. You know, it's a good thing that they've made the changes and the weapon handling is a lot better. And it is a lot more fun and you can actually shoot things in the game. So they have made some big major changes since the game's launch. But at the same time, do we really need to give them credit for that? I mean, good for them, I guess. 1 month later and you can actually shoot things in a first-person shooter where you couldn't for basically a month. I appreciate the fact that they were pumping out updates and they got some big fixes out early, but at the same time, a lot of these issues shouldn't have been in their game at launch. I think 2042 definitely should have been delayed. You know, that's a topic for a completely different video. But I did just want to say that after these updates, I've been having a lot more fun. Recently, they've added some new game modes. They added the 64-player Conquest and Breakthrough modes, and then Rush is still hanging around in Portal. So I've been playing a lot of Rush, and I've been playing a lot of the 64-player Breakthrough and Conquest. And the 64-player modes are, in my opinion, way better than the 128-player modes. And this has created a new problem because with the 128-player lobbies, they're kind of abandoned now. A lot of people are playing the 64-player modes, and the 128-player modes are getting to be pretty much impossible to find a lobby for. I've tried to find matches with crossplay on and off, and trying to find a match in the 128-player lobbies, it's getting pretty much impossible to do because everyone's playing the Rush mode and everyone's playing these smaller game modes because the game just flows better with 64 players. In the 64-player mode, the maps are reduced significantly. You're not running around aimlessly. The reduced size helps a lot. It kind of funnels everyone into one spot. The game just flows a lot better with the 64-player versions. So, and that's not good considering there's only like 4 modes in total you can choose from, and 2 of the 4 modes are pretty much dead a month later. Really says a lot about your game. And even though I've been having a lot of fun, the general player base, obviously the updates isn't enough for people. There's a lot of core features that have been missing from this Battlefield game. There's so many things that were taken out of this Battlefield. The scoreboards, the squad-based system, the added specialists, there's no in-game voice chat. The user interface is horrible. There's very little destruction on the maps. It just doesn't feel like a Battlefield game. I think if this was a new title and it was just something with a different name on it, like just some generic first-person shooter, it would be okay. But the fact that they slapped the Battlefield name on this game and then didn't provide us with a Battlefield experience, I think that's what's making a lot of people angry. And speaking of the player base, I wanted to get into some of the player numbers and stuff. So if you look at the Steam numbers, this is the amount of players that are playing Battlefield 2042 on Steam only. So this isn't taking numbers from Origin or Xbox or PlayStation, but this does give us a general idea of the player count. As this chart decreases over time, you're probably going to see the numbers also decrease on console and Origin as well. So getting into the numbers, as of December 16th, there was a total peak of 18,561 players. So the all-time peak a month ago was 100,000, and that dropped clear down to 18,000. That's pretty significant. Normally you see a bit of a drop off with a brand new game. There's like the initial hype, then people, come and go. But seeing it drop that drastically, that's pretty nuts. And in comparison, if we bring up Battlefield 5 on the same day, December 16th, the peak was 17,978. So there was about a 600 player difference between the brand new Battlefield experience 2042 and the 3-year-old Battlefield 5 that wasn't even that popular of a game to begin with. The general public just didn't like Battlefield 5 that much. But Battlefield 2042 is so bad in the public eye that people are going back to Battlefield 5 and other previous Battlefields because they want the Battlefield experience. The fact that there was only a 600 player difference between the old Battlefield and the new Battlefield really shows how much they dropped the ball with Battlefield 2042. But that was a couple days ago. As of today, the numbers look a little bit more healthy. There's a total of 45,000 people playing Battlefield 2042 this weekend, and then Battlefield 5, the peak is 17,851. So the numbers are still staying pretty strong for Battlefield 5, but the reason we're seeing an uptick in Battlefield 2042 numbers going into this weekend is because they're actually having a free play weekend on Steam. And you can definitely tell, the fact that people are getting to play the game for free, that's significantly impacting the numbers of players that are coming to test out this game. Now you may be wondering, why is there a free to play weekend 1 month after the game's release? And I think it's because EA is sort of going into panic mode. I think they're seeing that their numbers are going down low. They're seeing that the servers aren't very populated. They're seeing all the negative feedback, so they want people to play this game. So what better way to get people to play the game than offering it for free for a weekend? But if you decide to buy it on Steam, it's currently 34% off on Steam, so you can buy the game for $40, which is a pretty big deal. And then if you look at retail stores, it's on sale there as well. $40 at GameStop, $40 at Best Buy. I've seen it even marked 50% off in some places. Target and Walmart's also $40. This brand new Battlefield experience, 1 month later, just 1 month later, has seen such a significant player base drop that they're offering it for free, and they're offering it for $40. Now that's mind-blowing to me. Normally they have a sale going into the holidays, like with Christmas. Normally they'll offer some games for a little bit cheaper. But this is going into like week number 3 of this game being on sale. It's not very often that you see a brand new first-person shooter, like a big name title like Battlefield, be on sale for 30 to 50% off this close to the holidays. Like, they have to be hurting on sale numbers if they're this desperate. And unfortunately, that's not all. The player base number is dwindling, so we're seeing a little bit of an uptick with this free-to-play weekend and the game being a lot cheaper. I would imagine a lot of people are probably going to pick it up for Christmas as well. You're going to see all the Christmas players come in and they'll play it for a little bit. So this game might have a little bit of an uptick of the player count going into like January. And if this game had a bunch of updates and they had frequent content updates, then this game could have made a comeback. But unfortunately, it's not looking like that's going to be the case. Now, as you guys probably know, they recently started the weekly challenges. We're on the 2nd week in a row where we have the opportunity to do a weekly challenge and unlock a skin. Well, these weekly challenges are part of the preseason content. So this is supposed to hold us off until they have the start of the first season. Well, unfortunately, a well-known data miner had this to say today on Twitter. He has data mined a lot of stuff in the past, and all his leaks have pretty much come true, so he's a pretty trusted source. He said that Battlefield 2042 client includes weekly missions for 12 preseason weeks. Season 1 seems to be scheduled for March of 2022, unless they've added a few weeks as backup. Exposure is probably the final name for the previous data mined Ridge map. So unfortunately, if this is true, it doesn't seem like the first DLC update isn't going to be until March, which if that's the case, that is absolutely horrible news for 2042. Only thing that could revive this game is if they had constant, fresh updates, add new weapons, add new maps, add new skins, add things to keep players wanting to come back and play. But if you're going to have the game already dwindling and the players are losing interest this quickly, 1 month after the game's release, and you've already seen more than a 60% loss in your player count, and then you're not going to have any DLC until March, that's a huge red flag. That's not looking good for Battlefield 2042. And that's one of the problems that come with live service games. They promise you content updates, and then they take their good old time, and then, you know, people lose interest. That's basically 4 months of no new weapons, no new maps. The only thing they're giving us is these weekly challenges, which is unlocking some different skins for everybody. You know, we got a shotgun skin, we got a skin for the submachine gun. Based on the previous leaks, it looks like we're also going to get a helicopter skin. You know, these little skins isn't going to be enough content to keep people around. People aren't going to come back to unlock a skin for a weapon that they don't even like to use, or a skin for a helicopter. Like, that stuff isn't enough. Now, I hope that this data mine isn't true, but based off of DICE in the past, you know, this is normally how long it takes them to make DLC. So unfortunately, there's probably going to be an even bigger drop in the player base unless they do something to, you know, keep this game alive and active. Now, realistically, we'll probably get some patches again, maybe one in January, you know, maybe a big one in February or something. But patches aren't content. Patches just get the game to be in a working state that it should have been at launch. You know, unless they add things that people have been requesting, like scoreboards, map destruction, smaller map sizes, more gadgets, and like all these different things that the community wants, it doesn't matter if they even add just one map or 2 or 3 weapons. That's not going to cut it. Like, they need to take a step back and completely redesign a lot of the fundamentals of this game. 1 to 2 weapons and a map that's probably too big isn't going to cut it for this player base. So, I don't know. You know, 1 month into Battlefield 2042's release, it's not looking good. Player base is dwindling. Now we have this news of content not coming out till March. You know, I don't think Battlefield 2042 is going to be able to get back on its feet again. I wish that it would. I love Battlefield as a franchise. That's why I'm covering it on my channel. You know, and I've had fun with Battlefield 2042. It's just not what it could have been. And it's really disappointing. You know, I hope with all these new people coming into the Battlefield franchise and DICE switching up their management roles, and, you know, now that we have new people taking over, hopefully within the next year this game will be in a better state. But honestly, I'm just looking forward to the next Battlefield game because I don't think this one's too salvageable. I hope I'm wrong, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see just what happens in 2022. But that is going to do it for this video, everyone. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Let me know what your guys' predictions are for 2042. Do you think they're going to be able to make a comeback? Do you think we're going to get content in March? Or do you think they're going to have it ready a little bit sooner? And then if you guys are new here, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. Follow me on Twitch at SwannyPlaysGamesLive, and I will talk to you all in the next video.